So, Adam, how many screenplays have you written?
Many, many screenplays.
More than
Countless.
5?
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm expecting big things from you this episode
About the screenplay?
about this movie because, you're a sophisticated, intelligent writer.
That's true.
So, this movie must have made quite an impact on you.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of the script,
What movie are we talking about?
talk about Two-Lane Blacktop. And it was a good script, but I don't know if it was necessarily following Save the Cat formula. I didn't see any scenes where anybody was saving the cat, so to speak. But yeah,
Well,
no,
they
it was
say,
good. It was
hold
a good
on, they
script.
save.
Besides,
That's not true.
aside from that,
Your
what?
improv is incorrect. So,
It's not improv,
there's a
it's just
scene in this
talking.
movie about like an hour in or so where Warren Oates is drunk, falling asleep, removing a license plate from another car in Oklahoma. And the driver and the mechanic, Dennis Wilson and James Taylor, they rescue him and they get him away from the cops. So they save GTO, played by Warren Oates. So
Wow, you're right. Damn, the Save the Cat is just they really nailed it with that.
that book is just
It
about like,
explains everything.
if you want to make a character likable, have them save a cat,
It's
right?
got all the answers in there. Everything
So
for
like,
screenwriting and life.
but that's like a thing that most writers would do naturally. Like you don't need to tell, like, it's like, yeah, if you want to make a character likable, have them do something selfless. And that's sort of like,
So you're saying Save the Cat is right?
I'm just saying it's just selling you something that you should know already.
Interesting.
I can tell you like from when screenwriting books came out in the late 80s, early 90s, there's been a tremendous loss in the ability for movies to have good screenplays. Like the writing in movies has gone drastically downhill ever since all those shitty books came out.
No way, man.
Yeah,
No
they're
way.
super formulaic and super. They're just fucking dumb.
Well, they have they have that part and after the second act starts where it's called the fun and games part. This is part of the Save the Cat method. If you aren't already like a devoted acolyte like me, and the fun and games part, that's where it all happens. That's the fun in the
What
games.
happens? I don't remember this at all in the book.
Like that's where the premise is played out, and all the trailer moments happen. The fun montages, and this is what movies really understands now as opposed to back then.
Well, that's not true. So movies back then had a formula also, like, and what Two-Lane Blacktop does is this movie was a huge failure at the box office. So basically, there was a new Hollywood movement. There was films like Bonnie and Clyde, The Graduate, and Easy Rider made a shit ton of money. Didn't cost very much. And studios kind of realized like, oh, we have to like embrace the youth market. Our old fuddy-duddy way of working is no longer working. Like movies stopped shooting on sets. They started shooting out in the real world. They started casting people who kind of looked like, they started like making movies for the counterculture, for college kids, high school kids. And it was a big seismic shift in the way movies were made. But that still doesn't mean they weren't making traditional formula films. Like after Easy Rider, there was a shit ton of road movies. And even Easy Rider has cliches in it. There's sex, there's violence,
Fun
there's fun and games. I guess the acid sequence would be the ultimate montage of fun and games.
Yeah.
Two-Lane Blacktop, on the other hand, they really go out of their way not to have any cliches. Okay, there is no chase scene with the police. There is no close run-in with like a criminal gang. There is no contrived element of like, this guy who owns a diner is pissed at them and beats the shit out of them like an Easy Rider. There is no, see, an Easy Rider, Richard Linklater made this point, which I think really sums up what Two-Lane Blacktop does well, which is he said an Easy Rider, it's like, he wasn't specifically talking about Easy Rider, but he was saying like in most movies, it's like the counterculture is alienated, but in this movie, everybody's alienated. Warren Oates is just as alienated as the young driver and the young mechanic and the girl. The people in the diners they talk to are alienated. The people everybody in the movie has this like ennui. There's just this sense of like loneliness that permeates every element of the film. Like there's a scene where they go, they have a drag race with this guy, and like James Taylor says like, make it 3 yards and we'll have an automobile race, motherfucker, or whatever. Like,
yeah,
they almost got that swearing almost got them an X rating, which is funny. But that guy they drag race, that's the writer of the movie. And
nice.
After they beat him, you see later on, he's at the hotel, James Taylor, and he's looking around and he sees that guy getting chewed out by his wife or girlfriend.
He fucked up. He should have written it where he wins and then fucks his girlfriend. And everybody's like, damn, this guy's awesome. That's classic screenwriter mistake.
He should have written a book on what not to do. Always fuck. If you're the writer, write yourself a role and bang.
Yeah.
So
otherwise, how will people know that you've had sex?
Now, the other thing is, I said earlier, this movie was a huge bomb, which is funny because it's like a cult classic. But I guess like if you're a teenager, this movie would just bore the shit out of you. If you're like 15 and you're at a drive-in, this is not like the kind of movie you want to be watching.
People like having those contrivances and cliches and stuff when they go to the drive-in or whatever on a Friday night. That's what they want to see, Because like back then, a movie wasn't a thing that you watched seriously. You kind of like came in halfway through. You were making out with a girl and feeling above clothes, feeling boobs while it was playing. So
yes, wearing a sweater. You're like exactly. One of the guys, like one of the guys in Animal House who are like joining the frat.
Yeah.
You're a virgin. You just want to play a little grab ass. You'll probably bang 2 chicks and then get married to your college sweetheart.
Exactly.
All those guys wouldn't be banging until the 70s. Then it's like shampoo. Then they're doing coke and then they're having swinger parties. But
this movie is about hippie shit. Like it is about hippies, even though everybody's got on weed and stuff. It's like,
how so?
Well, James Taylor and Dennis Wilson and the Hitchhiker. These are hippie characters.
They're not playing hippies.
How so? How so to you?
Well, they have those actors, I would say, like new hippies and like, but they're not playing hippies.
They're
not dressed like
hippies
hippies.
And shit, like in the movie.
They're asked if they're hippies, but they're not hippies.
I mean, but that's the whole thing. Like Warren Oates is older. He's kind of like
do they drink once
and shit? Well, there's a lot of like reversals.
Hold on. Let's go back to the hippie thing. Let's go back to the hippie thing. No, let's go back to the hippie thing.
There's a lot of flips about the hippie thing in this movie.
Let's talk about what a hippie does.
It's all about the flips. Hippies do drugs and have sex and they're dirty and they have long hair. And do
they race cars?
Protest the war. Man.
Do they are they mechanics on cars? Yeah. So these guys are not hippies. I get what you mean by
long hairs.
Casting those guys.
That term needs to come back, by the way.
They're cast as hippies, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They do drugs, but they're not playing hippies in the movie if you actually pay attention.
Well, they're very serious and focused on the job at hand, which is an anti-hippie thing. And Warren Oates is like, the older guy who's not like a part of that, or like counterculture and shit. And like Warren Oates is not a part of that. And like that, even like the way they drive, their methods are different. Like James Taylor and Dennis Wilson. Dennis Wilson's like the mechanic and James Taylor's the driver, and they like don't talk at all basically while they're driving, or they'll only talk about cars, super professional. And then Warren Oates, he's picking up hitchhikers and stuff and just like bullshitting his backstory like differently every time, kind of like the Joker. Just pointing that out.
Yeah,
And
you never
then-
get a real sense of who he is.
but it's
There's
like
nothing
talking.
he says.
Yeah, it's talking about like he's talking to fill to that's his process of being able to like last the endurance of it or whatever. And James Taylor and Dennis Wilson are like, it's like focused and stuff. They're very opposite, but in a way where like you think the hippies would be flipped.
So what's your point?
I'm just saying they're flipping a lot. They're doing a lot of
No.
flipping of conventions and what you expect. And
Okay,
is-
okay,
Thank
that's
you.
true.
see, you gotta
That's
like
true.
you gotta
No, but you
assume
say
that I
the
know what
wrong
I'm talking about.
terms. You say the wrong things often. You don't use the right words. You say like they're hippies, but they're not hippies at all.
Well,
no one in
well,
this
that's-
movie is a hippie.
That I mean, what about the hitchhiker?
That is a hippie. The one hippie hitchhiker is a hippie. And he's like, I want to get out, right? That guy.
I mean, they just don't have personalities of hippies. Like Warren Oates has more of like a hippie.
all right. Let's move on.
personality. Okay.
So the basic plot of this movie is very simple. These two guys, the driver and the mechanic, are going cross country reverse. So this is another situation in the movie where it is a flip, as Adam would say, or a flop, or whatever the fuck he said. They're going
Save
like
the
normally
captain.
in road movies, they go to California. Normally you're just going to California.
Yeah.
This movie, they're going maybe to Washington, D.C., maybe New York, maybe Florida. They can't decide. They keep changing their story by the end. So Dennis Wilson and James Taylor go from like town to town. They try to keep like over $300, and they use the $300 to bet on these like short little drag races. And they're driving a 1955 Chevy, and this thing is like cut to the bone. It doesn't even have hinges on the
Door.
what the hell on the back, what the hell
It's a
they call it?
door.
Like the trunk and the
Tailgate.
the hood. The trunk and the hood don't have hinges, so they have to actually physically detach them each time. And it doesn't have a heater, doesn't have an AC, doesn't have all these extras. I don't even think it has a radio. Like,
Right.
or no,
Oh
he
yeah,
turns
because
the radio
Warren
off.
Oates is like, hey, oh yeah, it does, and he just turns off because Warren Oates is he's trying to play music, you know.
Yeah, so they keep it light so it's fast. It looks like shit. The car just looks like an old piece of junk.
Looks
But
like
what's in-
Mater.
What's interesting is at the time, by the time the movie was made, that car was only 16 years old.
Interesting. You know what else is interesting? That car looks like Mater, and Warren Oates' car kind of looks like Lightning McQueen. Is this movie Cars? Is this movie basically Cars, but with people?
Well, Mater's a truck,
Should call this movie People.
a tow truck.
Right. But he's rusty and old, and you know, it's all part of Lightning McQueen's journey.
He's a
As
tow
an
truck.
arc as a character is
you're wrong.
because they become best friends or whatever, and he's like rusty.
Well, you know what the
I'm watching
biggest
a lot of Cars right now. 'cause of my kids.
influence of, you know what the biggest influence on Toy Story was?
What?
Midnight
Yes.
Run.
Oh, wow.
That's the biggest screenwriting influence on Toy Story.
I thought he was
Which is pretty
inspired by
cool.
all the women he hugged, and that's what he was hugging a lot of women, and that was what kind of inspired him to write
He
the movie Toy
jokes
Story.
work better when you name the person.
John
So,
Lasseter.
okay,
Whatever,
let's talk
man.
about Warren Oates' car. Warren Oates is driving a GTO. This is a very slick, expensive car. It's like, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's right from the assembly line in Detroit. It's bright and orange.
He wears racing gloves.
He wears racing
Kinda
gloves. He
shit.
wears cardigans. He has like big, poofy, trendy collars.
He's a
On his-
flamboyant man. Proudly flamboyant. But
He's like,
he's not gay though, or
he's
maybe
the
he
guy-
is. Maybe he is gay actually.
he's not gay. So in his 40s, he's got his money. He's like driving cross country, but he's super lonely. Maybe he's divorced. Like, we don't really know his
No, he does-
backstory.
He
because
tells
he
James
keeps.
Taylor, and James Taylor's like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Well, yeah, but he could be lying.
Oh, sure.
He's always
It's the
changing his
curse of the
backstory.
Joker. Joker deals with a similar problem. You lie to everybody you know, and then
You
you
can't
finally tell the
connect.
truth, and people don't believe you. It's a hard lesson the Joker has to learn.
Hopefully, he can connect with Lady Gaga and Joker too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, but no, I think he could be. He's not gay. Well, he's like, I know why you're saying he's not gay, because he's like saying like, hey
He says
man,
he's not gay and he's into a
I'm
girl.
not into
He
that.
wants to fuck Lori Bird.
Oh, right.
That's the
Yeah,
hitchhiker that gets picked
could
up.
still
So
be
then
gay.
they the driver and the
Possible.
mechanic pick up this girl at a diner. She just like wanders into their vehicle. And they basically ignore her, treat her like shit. But James Taylor seems like he's obsessed with her at the same time, but he can't like actually articulate himself. Adam almost fell out of his chair,
Chair almost
leaning
broke.
back.
The fuck.
So
Okay,
War
let's try it
Notes
again.
sees him on the road. And then after a while, they decide like let's just race to Washington, D.C. and we'll like race for pink slips, the ownership of the vehicle.
Yeah, that's cool.
But then they don't actually make it like in a normal movie, the race would actually be a race. This is just something for them kind of to do.
Yeah, because they like when they're like close and stuff, they just pull over and like get out and talk and shit. Like,
And they never like, they could also just beat him because they have two drivers. They could take turns driving and they don't do that.
And there's that scene where he like is in their car. War Notes is in James Taylor's car, and they're driving to like the same place to eat or pull over for sleep or something like that. And then yeah, James Taylor with the War Notes in James Taylor's car like starts like flooring it, and he just is like clearly beating War Notes' car.
Well, they do this. Well, but what they're doing is an elaborate ruse, except that they tell GTO like, "Hey, look, your car is leaking fluid, and we got to get it fixed." And GTO's all pissed. He's all scared. He's like, "I don't know what's gonna happen." He's like, "Oh, I can't go out like that. I can't lose commission of my car." And then they're like, "Oh no, there's a shop. We'll take care of it." So,
I see.
and then GTO gets in he's like, "I want to ride in the Chevy. I've never ridden one of those before." This is like their big bonding moment. They gave him like a hard boiled egg before this.
Mm-hmm. Classic sign of friendship.
He has like a cocktail, or he has like bottles of liquor, like a full bar in the trunk of his car. He's like a playboy guy. He's like a bachelor, like a rich bachelor guy who has all the toys.
Yes.
And so in that moment though, they're so clever, they then do like a drag. They get to the driver and the mechanic drag race each other in the respective cars.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the Chevy, they say, is that the Chevy can like win any drag race, but it can't win the long race. It's all about acceleration. That's what they say in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they always do drag races. But anyway, they could win this race, but they don't, because James Taylor says like, I'm not interested in being 500 miles ahead of someone.
Right.
So basically, James Taylor, Dennis Wilson, this girl, Lori Bird, they just cannot act. They're like, Dennis Wilson has like pretty good charisma. He's cool. He's like one of the coolest Beach Boys, if not the coolest Beach Boy.
He's a pretty cool Beach Boy.
He's the one who knew Charles Manson. So the story with
Uncle Jesse?
So the story of how like Uncle Jesse met the Charles Manson was Dennis Wilson was driving one night and he picked up two hitchhiking girls who were in the Manson family, and he took them back to his house, banged them all night. And then when he woke up in the morning, or he left and then came back, there was hella Manson people in the house now.
Whoa.
And so he would just do drugs and party with them. And like one thing he did was he took them all to the clinic to get their VD cleared, because they all had venereal diseases. They all had they've just been fucking and not going to the doctor.
Damn. What were they
Ripping.
thinking? I don't
They
know.
live
These
for the
people don't sound
short-term
like they were
pleasures.
in their right minds. William just turned a fan on.
But you know,
It's heating up.
when you're having sex like that, you're gonna get VD. So Dennis Wilson's cool.
We'll see about that.
He eventually
Just kidding.
introduced Charles Manson to Terry Melcher, and then Charles Manson went to Terry Melcher's house, but he didn't live there anymore. And then he killed or his followers killed a bunch of people. But
Dennis Wilson's the reason why.
yes.
Damn. Kind of like Andy Dick with Phil Hartman's wife.
Yes.
Andy Dick is responsible. And so
Because he
is
gave
Dennis
her coke.
Wilson. Yeah.
But she was going to do coke anyway.
He's kind of the Andy Dick.
It's not like he took her to the gun store. He didn't buy her. He's like, you got to get a gun. Trust me. This is gun's so hot. You look so hot. Let's do some coke and go shooting.
What is? You don't hear about people shooting another person on coke that much, by the way. To your point.
Yeah, that you never hear about that, Adam.
That does happen.
Of course.
For shooting their husband, like in a fit of psychosis or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, she was totally nuts too. So
Poor guy.
Dennis Wilson eventually drowned and died
That's
in
what
like
they
the
want you to
70s.
think.
He has this awesome album. I forget what it's called, but he's on the album cover and he just looks so fucking cool. Wilson.
Yeah, they look
he
really
has a
cool,
huge
man.
beard.
Dude, James Taylor. Yeah. Is the hitchhiker a musician?
Lori Bird. I don't even really know what her deal is. She's only in 3 movies. She's in Two-Lane Blacktop, Cockfighter, and Annie Hall.
Damn.
But
yeah, they're James Taylor. That was a tough hurdle for me to get over. It's James Taylor's stoic performance. It's kind of funny that he's stoic in the movie because he's James Taylor. You know,
he's pretty quiet in real life.
Sensitive singer-songwriter. I don't know.
What's your favorite James Taylor song?
I suppose Fire and Rain. What? I just relate to it. I've seen Fire and I've seen Rain. What's your favorite James Taylor song?
I don't like James Taylor.
Well, he's one of the highest selling musicians of all time. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know if you think
I think he's good in this
William
movie.
only likes things that are like lots of things ticking really fast. And like, it's like he only likes music made by Germans in like all black.
Oh yeah, like who?
Yeah. Like, Kraftwerk. Come on, man. You know, it's true. I don't know these bands because I like,
Cool.
James Taylor. Okay. Come on. Just own it. Be proud of what your musical taste. But then you think, this is the thing though about you, is like you had like you're pretty open movie wise to different things, but with he's walking away. With music, William is quite rigid, I would say. When are you going to listen to some Jack Johnson and just relax a little bit, man?
I'm not a fucking retard from Florida.
Well, retards from
I'm
Florida.
not a
need something
ham
to
and
listen to
egger.
also. What's
You know
that?
what a ham and egger is?
No,
A
no.
simpleton.
Sounds cool.
A country rube, but like a boring suburban idiot.
Well, what? So you just want to listen to like
Jack Johnson.
electronica and shit all the time?
Electronica.
Like if you were on this road trip, if you were driving through this country like this, what would you put on?
I'll tell you what
the radio?
I'd be listening to. I'd be listening to Sirius XM.
Howard Stern.
And this is what I listen to.
Okay. No,
Ozzy's-
music.
Ozzy's Boneyard,
That sounds
which
awesome.
is the 80s metal. And then
Yeah.
I listen to First Wave, and that's like 80s new wave.
Yeah, it's like all like darks. You're not going to put on like Credence, something for
I listen
driving
to the
in the
Beatles
country.
channel. I listen to the Beatles channel. I listen to I'll put the 60s or 70s on.
Well, whatever taste is, it's okay with me. But the point about the music in the movie and shit, like I was talking to William about like wanting to watch a road trip movie that is chill, you know? And he, this is why you picked this, right?
I picked it because Ryan's not here. There's no way Ryan would be able to watch this movie without just being like, it's so boring.
Oh,
I'm so
okay.
dumb. It's actually it's the best movie ever made. And you're just like,
Ryan, fucking idiot. But yeah, like I want chill, like the best one of the best things to do in the South or in the country, like when you're out in the country, is those drives with the windows down, you know, listening to music and stuff. And I want movies to reflect that. I don't want movies to be like William was saying, like, you know, I want them to be, the vibe is more important than any plot, because you want to be able to like get the feeling of a long road trip where nothing is happening, you're not doing anything, you don't really care, you're enjoying kind of looking out the window. And that's what this movie does.
you just want to be, and you like the characters in this movie. You want to really, really indulge in your depression.
Yeah.
You just want to be like, I'm a guy. I'm a white guy. I'm such a victim. My name is Adam Powers. And like, I'm driving with the windows down, listening to Blink 182 Adam song, a song from me. And just like,
hey, don't bring up my music taste, dude.
I'm too old to commit suicide. If only I had done it at 26, it would have been really cool. And like, everything since I was 26 has been so bad.
Yeah, basically that's the kind of vibe you want.
And it's just like a beautiful Florida afternoon where it's like you're going in and out of showers and clouds, and then there's like it gets really hot and bright and like misty, and there's rainbows, and there's like crackheads fucking alligators.
Yeah. Have you been to Florida?
And Adam's just like in the passenger seat of a car driven by Warren Oates, and he's just jerking off Warren Oates.
No, Warren Oates is jerking me off. Okay.
So Harry Dean Stanton has a cool scene. He gets in Warren Oates' car as a hitchhiker, and then he like, the director said he wouldn't tell the actors what they were doing, and he would only give them like a page at a time. And so Harry Dean Stanton was pissed because he has to play a homosexual who puts his leg on Warren Oates, or puts his hand on Warren Oates' leg. And Harry Dean Stanton was like mad. You don't want to be a gay guy.
When you're acting and stuff, you want to be like a cool guy. You want to do that to a lady.
He had to be physically gay when he touched Warren Oates' leg.
Yeah, damn. It's the most challenging role of his career.
You have to be gay for real. Touch.
Well, you can like, you know, put some make the other actor wear like layers of clothes or pads that you can't see.
A fake leg.
Yeah, yeah.
All gay sex must be using prosthetics and special effects.
Yes.
It's like Will Smith. He was in 6 Degrees of Separation. He was like, I'm not kissing a guy on camera. I will not do that.
Damn. And now he's
if only we had visual effect. If only we had visual effects back then, we could have, you know, used green screen and connected 2 shots together.
Yeah. That'd have been great.
But yeah, so this, you say this movie's chill, but this movie is the truest definition of the monthly theme that I had come up with, which was The Road to Nowhere, the existentialist road film. This is the ultimate existentialist road film because, you know, existentialism isn't exactly just depression and just like life sucks, life is meaningless. It's just that existence is all there is, you know, there is nothing else besides existence. So
damn. That's what you got from this movie?
Well, this movie has its own twist on that. It's like really just about like being disconnected. They're lonely. They're all lonely people if you look at it.
America was lonely at the time because of the Vietnam War. Would you agree?
No. So this movie doesn't get political. There is nothing about the war in it.
You wouldn't agree that America was lonely?
No, that's an asinine, idiotic thing.
Okay.
that only a moron would say. A complete fool who isn't afraid to embarrass himself publicly.
That's right. I'm not afraid.
I'm not gonna let you go. I'm not gonna let you go run amok with your theories that are ludicrous. So
Okay, that's
last
probably
week
good.
you had this pedophile theory about Motorama.
Oh, right.
And you're
Right.
like, this movie's so pedophilic, blah, blah, blah.
Secret pedophile.
2
Movie.
nights ago, I watched a documentary about the making of Larry Clark's Kids.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about a pedophile director. I mean, that guy, there's like this, people are being interviewed. They're like, yeah, I was like 15 and or younger. Like people are talking about like getting drugs, having to smoke 10 blunts in a row, like that shot of the 4 kids smoking blunts. He said that they said they smoked 10 blunts and they have never been that high in their lives. This other kid talked about how, or he's an adult now. He's like, yeah, I was like a teenager and Larry Clark has the camera. He's like, come on, don't you want to make out with her? Like rub her crotch. And he's like just digging his hand in a girl's crotch, like really hard. And Larry Clark is like, harder, come on, rub her harder. So he was just taking children, giving them drugs and booze and making them dry hump each other on camera or have like simulated sex.
You must be like kid's favorite director.
They all said afterwards he just gave him $1,000 in an envelope. They had one big catered lunch after watching a screening, like one big catered dinner, and then that was it. They never saw him, like basically.
Well, he came. So
he
like,
busted. He came and he busted and he left.
Yeah. What do these kids think was going to happen? He's going to like keep hanging out with them, like take them on the road. No.
Well, they said they were all like a family. They were friends. They didn't have parents. And so to let them into their circle was like a big sign of trust.
Dude, you mentioned on the bully episode that Tully from the kids is like loves, Larry Clark and thinks he like gets kids and stuff.
Yeah. He's not in the documentary.
But kind of feels like a kid first kid sort of situation. That Disney movie. The kid from First Kid is like a
Sinbad.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't watch
Sinbad
kids movies. I'm not
kid or something. No, we don't.
I watch
Sinbad
cool movies. When I was a child, I watched
you know what I'm
movies.
talking about.
Who's
the kid from First Kid? The kid from First Kid who's in an Open Secret. I don't know. He's the Bitcoin guy.
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. WWE superstar Brock Lesnar.
Brock something. Brock Powers.
Kid. And then Sinbad is a secret first Secret Service
He's
agent.
in Mighty Ducks.
Very
also.
funny. Right. Yes, that's true. Sad story. He's
a billionaire. I don't get it.
Oh, I guess it ended well. Yeah, you're right. It's a happy story. I was going to talk about all the.
Have you ever seen Satyricon?
No.
The Fellini movie. So this is a Fellini movie that's based on a ancient Roman story novel. Yeah. It's about 2 guys who are in love with the same like 10-year-old boy, and they're fighting over possessing him.
That's cool. No, you always say like it's important to have like a clear want for your characters. So
yes, yeah. What do the characters in Two-Lane Blacktop want?
Yeah. What does America want at the time?
Adam, what do they want?
Freedom from the Vietnam War.
What do they want?
Well, so the movie becomes about the like love triangle with like James Taylor and Warren Oates and the hitchhiking girl, and she ends up like leaving and stuff. Meaning
James Taylor wants her, Warren Oates wants her, and they both say the same thing. They both go like, "We'll go to Florida. There's nice beaches," or like, "We'll go to."
Oh yeah.
Warren Oates says a lot more shit. He's like, "We'll go to Montreal. We'll go to New York. We'll do this. We'll do that."
It's like they're putting all that on her, the manic pixie dream girl sort of thing. they're putting all of their hopes and stuff and existential wants into this person. He's just
But
trying to
they also
cruise, man.
they want to do the same thing. They want to just keep driving and they want to live on the road and they never want to like
But James
touch
Taylor's
down.
wrestling with that, and so is Warren Oates.
But they want her
to go to Florida.
But they want her just to be there in the passenger seat or in the back seat.
This is just a story of three guys they're just trying to get a girlfriend. This is like what you do when you fucking like you become like a car nerd, and you're so intense and passionate about having the fastest car and stuff. And you get a girlfriend, and you immediately stop caring about anything else. You know,
but they
give
don't
up on
stop
all your
caring.
dreams.
That's not what happens.
But he's trying to give up on his dreams. It's the dream. It's every like.
No, they're trying to make both things work, and it'll never work. They want to drive, and they want to have a chick there the whole time who's just like, "This is so cool. I love how you don't talk to me."
Complaining because they're never. Yeah, because they're like.
I love how you're an idiot. I love how you
She
guys are
wants him to,
fucking
like-
idiots. And they're like, "Shut up. We'll never change. But we want you here. We're creeps. We're like, they're like lonely
Wouldn't-
creeps."
Yeah, wouldn't they not want her there though for like the weight in the car?
Well, she has to leave when they race.
Right.
They take out all the shit in the trunk. They get like, they lower the weight of the car when they race.
Yeah.
So
It's
they're
kinda-
like, "Bitch, get out, watch us race a car for like 9 hours at this like weird racetrack in Oklahoma." All the
Right.
sets, all the locations in this movie are really like desolate and bleak.
They're
I'd
like
say
the
like,
real backwoods country racetracks and stuff that are there, I think, right?
yeah, but they're not super backwoods. They just feel like very lonely and very like 70s. The 70s just seems like such a drag.
Yeah, no, dude. Well, like think about
Because
like,
if you're poor and you live in the middle of nowhere, I mean, it must have been so fucking boring. Like you
Yeah.
must have.
because they were like at the racetrack and stuff. It's just like the shitty like drag strip or whatever, and cars just taking turns trying to like do the best time on it. And there's like a pretty decent audience for it. And I think it's just because like, yeah, in the 70s you didn't have fucking anything to do. You go to like a movie maybe, or you could like watch like the 2 or 3 channels that are on TV. And if you're in a small town or whatever, like what do you do? But I actually think that like the 70s seems like a cool era, I think, because there's a lot going on in like the world and stuff, but there's also like this freedom. That's like a freedom that you can't have anymore. If you picked up a hitchhiker now, they'd be like looking on their phones. This freedom of having like a really endless, boring drive in like the beautiful country, where you're just staring out the window and you're not even like wrestling with like, oh, I should look at I want to look at my phone or whatever. It's just like
You go on your phone, it's the illusion shattered. You're now connected back.
Yeah,
to
exactly. And you're
you can't
connected to like the entire world. You can't be like, so that's like, and even like before media became bigger and stuff like that, it's just like they were just like wherever they were, that was like the reality. And now it's like reality is everyone has like the weight of the world on their shoulders. Don't make me go off on this. I'm about to like start talking about society.
Well, definitely make sure you're 3 feet away from your microphone when you do it.
That whole time that was
Sounded like shit garbage.
okay, great.
You got to talk into the microphone.
About the message. It's not about the audio quality.
I mean,
the audio quality. You know what I mean?
you basically have schizophrenia. I mean, you just ramble.
I Rambo. I'm gonna fucking Rambo on you, dude.
You just ramble about like whatever. It's like you don't know the end of the sentence you're saying, so you just start like it's like a snake
No. I know
eating
exactly
its own
where I'm
tail.
going.
Like you're just going in circles, saying things that sound good.
I'm in complete control the entire time. Don't worry.
So is that the meaning of the film?
What?
What's the lesson of the film?
Just
I'll tell you the lesson of the movie.
get a
That first,
girlfriend.
when you get a chick, that first night, you make your move. If she doesn't put out, if you don't bang her, you kick her out of your car. Okay. You got to make your move fast. You got to establish like this is a highly sexual relationship. You don't
friend zone yourself.
friend zone yourself and then weeks later try to make a move. You'll never make it work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, America,
Not
at the
unless you
time,
said many
waited too
jealousy
long to make a
traps,
move.
but we'll talk about that next episode, how to set jealousy traps, how to
Whoa.
you know,
Williams, pickup artist. Like,
this is turning into a men
This is
on
a boot
film,
camp.
film and pickup artists, how to pick up chicks based on movies.
it's about time we started sharing our expertise, I think. Between the three of us, dude, no woman is safe.
That doesn't
That's
sound
not-
good.
that doesn't sound
That doesn't sound
No.
good.
I mean, from being like wooed, or they're safe. Just women are safe. Between the three of us, all women are safe. How about that? I better just leave
It's
it at
like
that.
you really know what you're saying when you say it.
I know exactly. I'm in complete control. Man, I can't believe what. Go ahead. You're the host.
What's your rating?
4.5.
4.5.
James Taylor is really bad. It's a central performance. I feel like it would be so much. It's honestly almost all just because
What are you
James
talking
Taylor's really
about?
bad.
What are you talking about?
Look, the man can really sing or songwrite, but I don't know. I don't know about this.
What about
whole
Warren
acting
Oates?
That's the thing is Warren Oates. Usually, there's a lot of scenes of Warren Oates being like an amazing actor in front of like these just three fucking turds. You know,
There's shots
feel
in this
for
movie
him.
of the diner. Warren Oates, it's like incredible in like silent scenes and just looking and just watching and just like obviously reacting. I mean, like the way he can control his body as a performer while being completely hammered and drunk, which apparently I don't know if he was drunk on this movie, but he was a big alcoholic.
That's cool.
But
is that why he died? I was like, why is this dude not around anymore?
He died I think Stripes might be his last movie. He died pretty young. I mean, who knows? He might have smoking.
Oh
that
yeah,
doesn't help
for sure.
But he was one of our great actors of the 1970s, one of the greatest.
Of course. How come you didn't want to do Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia?
I'm not going to let you sully that film. No, that's a revenge film. That's why.
Okay.
It's more of a revenge film. There's lots of revenge films I considered, but I wanted to do movies that I liked.
Okay.
No, I really tried to make it about being on the road, lots of driving scenes, lots of road trips, lots of, if there was a connection between all these movies, I'd say there was no real destination in all four films. Wild at Heart, Doom Generation, Motorama, Two-Lane Blacktop, they never really got anywhere. There was no Wally World at the end. There was no True Romance style, like, that's not much of a driving movie either, but like Natural Born Killers, there's all this drama. It's like Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. There's other things going on. These movies are about driving.
Yeah.
Wild at Heart has lots
of
theme. Wild at Heart kind of is a little off of it. The thing is with Wild at Heart is that I wanted to do the straight story, but I just knew more people would listen to a Wild at Heart episode. Straight Story is David Lynch's greatest road movie. His completely under the radar masterpiece that is ignored by cool people because they're fucking lame, actually. Only the nerds who like Straight Story are cool. Straight Story is a road trip film about an old man on a lawnmower driving hundreds of miles through the Midwest.
That sounds silly.
It's fucking awesome.
That sounds really silly.
It's one of David Lynch's best photographed movies.
Is it a documentary?
No.
Okay.
If you want to check out a cool road movie, check out The Straight Story.
Yeah. What are your bonus recs?
Here's The Wizard.
Oh damn! I kind of wish we did the Wizard.
Hell
Honestly,
of a destination in the Wizard. I mean, I would
yeah,
have, but it's retarded and it's for
that's
kids.
Rain Man. Also, that movie. It's a road movie, and it's well, Rain Man is, I guess, maybe a road movie.
It's a Rain Man rip. It's a Rain Man
Yeah,
rip. You know, you got the Riri in the car.
they should make a movie where that Dustin Hoffman from that movie and the autistic kid from the Wizard team up, kind of like an Avengers kind of thing.
Famous autist
Yes,
on a road
Mr.
trip.
Bean.
It's a road trip. Avengers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this was great. You're
Stanley
such a good
Kubrick would direct it. He's the ultimate autistic director. I rewatched
right.
The Killing, his crime film, and man, it's just like this movie was made by a guy with autism. The narration, the timing, the obsession with clocks, the obsession with like knowing like the lame details that don't matter.
Yeah.
Only in the directing, only in the narration, only in the assemblage of the film. And then you have all these scenes that are really awesome with like cool character actors, but Kubrick definitely had autism.
Early pioneer being autistic or something.
Well, he's happy you're carrying the torch.
No.
What's your flaw? What's your main mental flaw, Adam? What's going on here? What's the diagnosis this week?
I care too much. I feel too deeply. That's
why you strangled the puppy, because you hugged it too hard and killed it.
Yeah, no, I'm not like Mice and Men.
You're a big Adam called. Gives big hugs.
I give really good, big, firm hugs. Just as a warning. I give a perfect amount of firmness in my hug, and it's the perfect length too.
Sounds like
you don't got to worry about anything with that. Okay.
A guy in the stand defending himself.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like lingering too long.
It's like the man in the tomato mascot outfit is dead. The man who killed him applied a hug of too much pressure. Mr. Adam Bowers.
And I'm in a Lightning McQueen outfit.
Yeah, Cars is a big movie for kids with autism. Big, really big. It might be even bigger than Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well,
is your child on the spectrum? Has that been confirmed, or is that just...
No way. You don't got to worry about that, William. Okay. Any other?
Leaning back in his chair, not talking into the mic.
Let's start talking.
A man relaxed and a man confident.
Let's hit an hour and then start talking about my kid, please. And you can just say whatever controversial, provocative thing you want to say.
Definitely has autism. That kid is a puppy strangler if I ever saw one.
You would know.
I would know.
Boom.
I would know.
Okay. What's next?
Next month is all about cool teachers.
Oh, because it's back to school.
It's the month over.
Hey, we should talk about that Target commercial where the parents are dancing and they're really happy and the kids are sad. Can we talk about that?
There's 5 Tuesdays in August.
Oh, dude, we should do the Wizard then. Come on, bro.
No, I'm not doing the Wizard. We're doing the Straight Story.
Okay.
My bonus app I was hoping to have.
There should be a movie called The Straight Wizard.
We got to get Ryan on the Straight Story. It's super Midwest. Also, he loved Wild at Heart so much. I want to see his reaction to this movie. I have a feeling Ryan is going to be like, dude, this movie is so fucking good. Like, he's going to love the Straight Story because he's going to see his grandpa in it, or he's going to be like, oh, it's okay, I don't know.
Yeah. Or he could be like, I didn't like this. One of these things could happen if you stay tuned.
He's going to get twisted, but who knows if he'll even be back.
What do you mean? Why do you say that? Oh, you mean in time?
Nebraska for weeks.
Okay.
Just hanging out with his family, doing nothing.
I thought you were saying something that was going to be very upsetting. that Ryan had left the show.
Ryan will be dead.
Yeah.
My movie prediction is Ryan will die at an early age. In a terrorist attack at a Brahms in Oklahoma
Mm.
on a road trip.
That's a surprise, honestly. I don't know. I like that. That's how he would die.
A terrorist attack.
Yeah, instead of being
It's always a surprise.
drunk and stuff. Yeah, he's just got. I mean, he'd be like, "Hey, you got me. I didn't think this was going to happen." I've been doing so. I've been planning on killing myself a very specific way. And then this terror, I guess that's how terrorist attacks work. Come on, William, start talking. Say something.
It's super revealing on Adam's part.
Oh, sorry.
Driving down a road in
about?
Florida, lightning and thunder, and he's just thinking about his suicide.
Me.
And then he's leaning back in his chair. No one can hear him speak. And then he's like, Warren Oates just pulls up behind you and just slices your throat while you're driving. And
Yeah,
like, you got me.
Yeah, that would be surprising.
You got me.
I wasn't listening to. I wasn't trying to kill myself on these road trips. I want to be clear. I wasn't trying to kill myself on these road trips. I was kicking back. I was chilling and driving through the country.
I feel like that suicide is your favorite daydream.
Yeah.
It's like your daydream. You're just thinking about you're just like Harold and Maude. You're like
now it's
Harold.
like a tease because I can't do it. But yeah, it was a beautiful dream for a while. What are you gonna do? People
upset. Everyone's mad. Everyone's
pissed.
People
will be like, "Oh my god, why wasn't I like nicer to him?" And that's my final little revenge.
I'll tell you who would not be nicer to you after you died.
Yeah. You wouldn't? It wouldn't make you like change everything you thought and like question yourself and be like, could I have done something better?
I'd roast you.
Feel like this fucking idiot like actually did it.
We'd roast you at your funeral if you committed suicide.
You should. That should be a thing that happens as like a way to dissuade people from doing it. Make their funerals a roast.
It's true.
Except for me.
It's like we'd write jokes for your kid. He's like 2 years old and he just says these like really simple jokes and they just crush.
People forget that it's even a funeral.
Got to talk into the microphone.
I gotta get.
Got to talk into the microphone.
I gotta get one of these mic arms you're talking about.
Well, you can't lean back in your chair. You got to lean forward. You got to hit the gas. You got to drive at him. You can't just be a man sitting out in the country with my leaning back, enjoying a blowjob from a young 10-year-old boy that I stole from an Italian man.
Right.
This is Satirigon callback.
Gotcha. It's hard to tell what you're calling back to when you make up.
And Larry Clark's filming the whole thing, and he's just like, "Come on, suck his dick harder. Come on, do it harder."
I like to picture that your girlfriend is like hearing you
crying in
the other room. It's just like, jeez, not again. Why is he talking about this stuff again?
Not again. Oh, geez, not again. That's too much.
Yeah.
If you can see what Adam is wearing a loose tank top. Sitting
this is tight, man. This is skin tight.
I can't see below the waist, but I know his legs are crossed. His definitely has crossed. He has crossed legs.
Okay.
And he's just leaning back in his loose tank top. And he looks like he has the loose flesh of a 72-year-old.
Stop saying I have loose flesh. This is the second time you've
Jewish
said my flesh was
retiree in
loose.
Florida. Pale, pasty. He looks like Hyman Roth. He has very Hyman Roth physical energy, physical posture.
What the fuck is Hyman Roth?
Who is that? Who is Hyman Roth? Is there
a guy named Hyman?
I like to watch the American football. You don't remember that classic line?
Yeah, totally.
Godfather Part 2. One of the great Florida characters. One of the great Florida movies.
Is the guy who invented or who like discovered the hymen? Is he his name Hyman? You think? Invented the hymen.
Probably.
It's kind of a cool move as a scientist to be like, oh yeah, that's that thing on the pussy. That's me. Call that my name. I found it. You know,
Well, what about the apple?
like if my last name was clitoris,
Adam's
how
apple.
awesome would I feel? Everybody's looking for me, you know?
What about Adam's apple?
Yeah, that's true. I think about that one. I feel proud of having a
Your
name.
lineage?
Yeah, my lineage. I got one too. So in case anyone was unsure.
Yeah, you probably got like a Mac Classic, some shitty computer. That's Adam's apple, you piece of shit. Boom.
It's a MacBook Pro and it's very sleek and contemporary. I don't know.
Where's this sentence going?
I don't know.
Adam's road trip is a sentence of like 7 words that make sense.
It's more of an existential journey when I start talking. Not like there's not really a destination in mind. So next week? No, it's
Straight Story. Maybe we
Straight
can do a
Wizard.
teacher movie before Ryan comes back or something.
Dude, we should watch the first half of Straight Story and then switch it to the second half of The Wizard. And then we could do
I can tell you what the Straight Story is not about. Adam's sex life.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay.
That should be called The Gay Story.
Right.
And it's just Adam being gay the whole time.
Why did I say
Getting
something so
fucked on a
stupid before you
lawnmower by
like
an old man.
nailed it? Old man's riding me like a lawnmower.
Yeah, he's just fucking you. Richard Farnsworth.
I wish I didn't say something so stupid before. And,
He's like,
brought it
you see
back
that?
Let's set you up for this.
You see that
Home
bundle
run.
of sticks there? That's Adam.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Do you know what a bundle of sticks means? There's
No.
another term for it.
No, what is it?
Starts with an F and ends with a T.
Okay. No, I don't know. What can you just say?
Has
What-
two
what the
G's
whole
in the
thing is?
middle.
We're two G's. We should call that's what this podcast is right now.
It's two
G's in
G's.
the middle. Great. Well, I love doing the episodes without Ryan. I feel like they're, we don't need him. He's a lot of dead weight, I think. Now that it's just the two of us talking. Right?
Dead weight. He's dead weight.
Yeah, Ryan is dead weight. I don't know, man. What am I supposed to say? I already talked about Save the Cat. Talked about that's the most of what I can bring. That's most of my expertise is about. Any other screenwriting things you need to know about with this movie? I think I brought up some stuff that you hadn't thought of, by the way.
Like what?
The whole flipping thing.
The first thing I said was this movie does everything a road movie doesn't do.
Well, flipping like of the hippies and Warren O, like
They're not okay. I vehemently disagree with this hypothesis. This is complete shit.
it's a lot
And
of
it-
unconventional choices.
So you're correct. I did not think of it.
Yes. So I
don't know what your point
win.
is or what you're even talking about when you speak.
won this episode.
Oh, that's a flip.
Yeah. We should be keeping tabs on who wins each episode, I feel like.
Who wins?
what it's
We
all
should have a
about.
poll at the end of Twitter of who wins the episode.
Yeah.
Who's the winner? Who's
Each
the big
episode.
winner?
Should be voted on. Telling you. People have, people have their team, pick their sides. We got very passionate fans on both sides, I'm sure.
Another sentence where you just don't know where you're going when you
All right.
begin it.
Let's just
We got passionate people on both sides.
Yeah, you got the Team Williams, Team
No one listens to
Adams.
this show.
What?
I hate to break it to you, buddy.
No,
Except for my
that's
friends.
no. I think there's a lot of people in like Southeast Asia or South Asia that listen to this podcast.
India? You're talking about like
India,
Sri Lanka and India,
Sri Lanka, India. I think there's a lot of people that tune in.
Pakistan.
Hello to our Sri Lankan listeners.
They got a lot going on there right
Thanks
now.
for listening. In Pakistan,
Sri Lanka is having a coup, revolution, complete overthrow of the government right now.
ay. Best of luck to our Sri
Sri
Lankan
Lankan
fans.
listeners, we love the president. He's living in exile, but he's will always be the president in our hearts.
Are we against the coup?
Yes,
I
we
don't know,
love
to be honest. I have a
authority.
baby. I don't.
He ran
lot
that
going
country
on.
great. Sri Lanka, come on, you
Okay.
guys got to give him a chance. Give him a little more time.
Another chance.
Sorry, all your crops didn't grow because they had some weird deal with like vegan fertilizer that didn't work or something that like failed the entire country's like food supply.
That's
But
not
that's
his fault,
political.
though.
Let's not get there. All right. This episode's over. I got to piss.
Okay.